Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video the time has come to sow our tomatoes. Finally, I feel like once we sow the tomatoes, the garden season has really started moving. So I have a bunch of seeds that I plan to sow. I have family that live in Rhode Island. I have family that have small little garden plots in Boston. And I always grow a surplus of plants just so that I can give them some. I'm actually going to crank up a lot more plants this year because I am going to do a little bundle sale for extra people who want to get some tomatoes and other seedlings from me. Anyways, let me show you all what I plan to sow for tomatoes this season. Tomatoes are a warm weather crop, so you want to sow them inside. You want to put them on a heat mat in order to kind of get the ball moving with them and to make sure that they germinate quicker. It is ideal to put a heat mat on them. That way they sprout earlier. And they are a heat-loving plant, so they really enjoy that extra heat. If not, it can take a couple of weeks for your tomatoes to pop out of the soil. So, without further ado, let me show you all what I am sowing today. A lot of these seeds come from MIgardener. The majority come from Baker Creek. I love Baker Creek. I love all of the different kinds of tomatoes that they have in inventory. I collect them like Pokemon cards. So each year I try to add new varieties, and I just love reading about the history and back of the Baker Creek seeds. And there's a lot of seeds that I've had in my binder, but each year I kind of like go back to older varieties that I've been holding out on, or new varieties that I haven't even started. So you'll see what I have in store. Let's start with MIgardener. And the first kind of tomato that I wanted to really work on this year are the paste tomatoes. I don't have too much luck with paste tomatoes. Maybe it's because I've always kind of focused on the beefsteaks and the purple tomatoes and everything but Roma and paste tomatoes. So I want to give a little bit of loving to the paste tomatoes, and that's why I ordered this striped Roma tomato from MIgardener. And this is a beautiful Roma style tomato, which is a paste tomato. It's indeterminate and it has yellow striping throughout. It's great for canning. It's great for paste making. So I definitely want to grow this in the garden. It's a very cute one. If I'm going to do paste tomatoes, they have to be cute. Another one that I got from MIgardener, and it is called the Sweetie Tomato. And the Sweetie Tomato is a cherry style tomato. It's indeterminate. It's bite size. It says this variety is as sweet as candy, making it the perfect summer snack. High production. Its flavor is perfect for making a tomato preserve without having to add sugar. And the size of the plant is perfect for container gardening. So this is a cherry tomato that I plan to grow. I have found that cherry tomatoes can be a little bit unruly. Like they're indeterminate, they grow very big, and they sometimes annoy me in the garden. So having a more compact cherry tomato would be perfect. That way I can keep it tidy this year. Another one that I got last year is the giant Belgium tomato. Look at how beautiful this one is. This one is indeterminate. The Ohio heirloom is a massive and overflowing with rich flavor. Known for its impressive size and rich sweet flavor, these tomatoes can weigh up to 2 pounds each. So it's a great beefsteak style tomato. It's gonna be huge. My family loves big tomatoes. Also, I love how it's very ribbed, and so I can't wait to grow this one. The next one is a watermelon beefsteak tomato. This one is indeterminate. If the pink and red flesh doesn't remind you of a big juicy watermelon, the size will. Producing fruits weighing in between 1 to 2 pounds can give you a meal for the whole family. This heirloom variety dates all the way back to the 1800s. So that's very nice. I can't wait to grow this one. Okay, and then I have one burpee tomato. And this one is by far actually like one of my favorite tomatoes that I have grown. This one is called the Tomato Bush Beefy Purple. I've grown this one 3 years in a row. It's a determinate tomato, and the difference between determinate and interdeterminate is a determinate plant usually is a smaller, bushier size plant that gives you the most harvest all at once, and then after that it kind of slows down and fades out, versus an indeterminate grows huge and yields tomatoes throughout the whole summer. So if you want a more compact, less unruly plant, go with your determinate tomatoes. And sometimes the determinate tomatoes can put a huge yield of tomatoes at one time, versus indeterminate that grow as the summer gets hotter and hotter, all the way up to your basically the end of the summer through the fall. Stick to an indeterminate, or like I do, I like to plant a mixture of both. And I use my determinate tomatoes in smaller containers, smaller raised beds, versus my indeterminate tomatoes that take up more room. I have a specific spot for them that they can get unruly and get huge. So this one is one of my faves. It's a rich, deep flavor with a smoky finish, and this makes a perfect tomato for a BLT. It's great for container gardening and raised beds. Like I said, amazing. I will continue to always grow this one, and I actually need to stock up because I don't have as many seeds left. Okay, now we need to move on to my favorite place to get tomatoes, which is Baker Creek, and I have quite a few tomatoes to show you. Okay, now to Baker Creek, what I got at Baker Creek and what I've been collecting from Baker Creek. Like I said, a lot of these varieties I've had for a couple of years, and I haven't tried them out or whatnot, but I did get quite a few seeds this year. And I want to start off with some of these tomato plants that I want to grow in my green stock containers. Last year, I made the mistake of adding tomatoes into my green stalks that got way too big, and they started to crawl out of the container, spill on the floor, and the green stock containers that I have can be rotated and spun around. So they were getting caught up, they were breaking off, they were just way too big for my green stock containers. So I made sure that this year I sourced some tomatoes that were perfect for the green stock containers, and those being micro tomatoes. One of those varieties is called Orange Hat Tomato from Baker Creek. The extra dwarf bush plant grows just 6 to 9 inches tall, but produces oodles of tiny orange orbs bursting with fruity sweetness. Perfect for growing indoors or on a patio, or as an edible ornamental in beds. So this one is perfect. I can't wait to add this into one of my green stalks. And then I got another one called Micro Tom. And this one of the world's smallest varieties. This compact variety does not disappoint when it comes to performance and flavor. Great for containers. I'm not sure if this one, the tomatoes on this one turns orange, and I guess I'm hoping that this one, the tomatoes turn red. I'm going to plant them in different green stock containers just so I can observe both of their growth and see how I like them. But it seems that these will be perfect for my green stock containers. And so I'm very happy with getting these two. Then I got another cherry tomato, and this one is called Purple Bumblebee. This one is slightly elongated little cherries, outrageously striped in lime green and bronzy purple, sweet complex flavor. So I'm going to be growing the sweetie, and I'm going to be growing this one. And this one I'll be able to tell apart because it's going to be striped. So it's going to add that little difference in the garden. One that I've grown before is the Abe Lincoln tomato. And this one says it's a renowned 1923 heirloom. Medium large red meaty fruit, has an incredible old-fashioned flavor. And I actually really enjoyed this. I've been growing it for 2 years now. And it's just incredible. I love it in my salads. I love it in my sandwiches. So this one is one that I will continue to grow. One that is new for me is called Black from Tula. This one is a unique, large 8 to 12 ounce dark tomato exhibiting a rich, deep purplish brown color. Some seed savers say it's the best tasting of all dark tomatoes. Very rich, old-fashioned flavor, sweet and spicy, a rare Russian heirloom. So I can't wait to grow this one. I love purple tomatoes. I don't know, I have a thing for like the dark tomatoes. So I definitely needed to have this one. It says claims it's one of the best dark purpley tomatoes, so I can't wait to try this one out. And it looks very dark, very beautiful. Another one that I'm gonna grow is Purple Rain tomato. This one says it's a tidy and compact 3-foot plants are smothered in purple beefsteak tomatoes with beautifully balanced flavor. Fruit average 6 to 12 ounces and are ideal for slicing sandwiches and can also double as a nice sauce tomato. A unique purple dwarf tomato. So that's nice. Then I got a classic beefsteak tomato. And old-fashioned tomato flavor, very well suited for the Northeast US, which is me. I am in Southeastern Massachusetts, zone 6B7A, so this is perfect because I'm in the Northeast. So hopefully it does well in my region. And last but not least, this one is one that I've had in my collection for quite some time, but I never used it because I didn't think I had it. It was like tucked away with my pickles. So it was the Thor Burns Terracotta tomato. This one introduced in 1893 by James Thorburn of New York. Honey brown skin, orange pink flesh, and green seed mass. This is an eye-catching slicer with an out-of-this-world flavor. So, those are the tomatoes that I will be growing this season. Wish me luck. I hope that everything goes well because I have my family depending on me as well as some friends. And I can't wait to taste fresh tomatoes from the garden. I'm not really a tomato girly. Like, I don't mind a tomato in salads or in sandwiches, but eating them kind of like raw or getting like a big mouthful of tomato when it's not from a garden fresh tomato just doesn't compare to a garden tomato. They taste completely different. And when I eat garden tomatoes, it just like, I don't know, it's like I love them. But regular tomatoes, I'm not a fan. I just can't. Like the store-bought ones, they can't compare. You have to have a garden tomato. It will change your life. But anyways, those are the tomatoes that I'll be growing. And now I want to show you some bonus plants that I'm going to, some bonus seeds that I'm going to start this season. One of which is the fennel bronze. When I was in New York over the summer, I believe I saw a arrangement that they used fennel, and they also used it in a garden plot, and it just gave character to the garden. It was so beautiful. I loved it. And I was like, I need to try that. I want to try growing fennel. I've never have. And it just looked beautiful in the garden. And so I want to use it for foliage interest. And I also want to have fennel in my garden because there is a dish that we use like fennel seeds in an eggplant dish. And it tastes amazing. I love the taste of fennel seeds. So we'll see. And we'll use fennel in soups and things like that. So that's one that I plan to grow now. We'll see how this, it says direct sow in spring or start indoors in early spring. Transplant carefully after frost has passed. Self-sows in ideal conditions. So we'll see. And then one that I really want to have luck with this year is a gourd. It's the birdhouse gourd. My local farm stand usually has birdhouse gourds for sale, and I've bought them in the past. I want to grow my own because I want to have a bunch of them that I can make birdhouses out of, obviously, birdhouse gourd. But I have a lot of wild birds because I live in a very wooded lot. So I want to make sure that the birds have a lot of nesting sites, especially the house wrens and the Carolina wrens. They love to be in my garden, and I always see them making little nests everywhere. So that's for them. And yeah. Then lastly, well actually no. Then I am wanting to grow chamomile. I've grown chamomile in the past and it was self-seeding everywhere. I really didn't like it. It was kind of like a ground cover. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I want to try again. And this time I am going to grow it in places where I don't mind it like spreading around. Especially kind of like in my mint garden and my herb garden. I'm going to keep it around there. And I also saw people planting them in containers that gave like a little foliage interest for the rest of the pot. So I want to try that. Next, I wanted to also start 3 kinds of celosia. I haven't been successful growing celosia. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. I've winter sowed it, but this time I'm going to start it indoors and have a more established and a bigger plant to transplant into the garden. But I have 3 celosias that I want to grow this year. And the first one is Coxcomb Indian Giant. And I love these celosias that look kind of like brains. They just have like such a beautiful flower head. And I definitely want to try that and grow them into my dahlia garden. I think that would look super beautiful, having these beautiful big blooms with the dahlias. Another one that has that kind of brainy flower is this Celosia King Coral. And I think it will pair beautifully with this reddish one. It's like a nice fuchsia pink, hot pink. And then last one is Celosia Flamingo Feather. And this one is from Select Seeds. I've tried growing this one. I haven't been successful. It was a tiny, tiny plant when I grew it. And I see people in their gardens grow celosia, and it's this huge bush that they can cut it up and use it for flower arrangements. So this one is going to be one that I grow for flower arrangements. And I just love how beautiful it looks. It was tiny when I grew it. I couldn't really do much with it. I cut it, the couple of blooms that I did have, and that's it. It was like, I think it was because I put it in a shady area. So this year I am not going to be doing that. I'm going to be putting it in a place that gets a lot of sun. But those are the 3 celosias that I plan to grow. And yeah, so thank you all so much. This is pretty much all the seeds that I'll be finishing growing in March. And then probably in the very beginning of April, I will start my warm season plants other than tomatoes, which are my cucumbers, my squashes, my watermelons, things like that. So this is kind of like we're in the middle stages, but this is when the ball is running up that hill. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Show me your support and let me know in the comments what you all have started to grow. And is there something that I'm growing that you're also growing? Any advice you can give me? And yeah, I would really love to hear it. And thank you so much again. I'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone.